Hello friends at home. In this video I will be going over today's math lesson with you. I am in our math book on page 517. It is lesson 13-9. And in this lesson it says compose three-dimensional shapes. Now you might remember last week we were working on two-dimensional shapes and how we could put the two-dimensional shapes together to make different two-dimensional shapes. For example, if we put three triangles together, we could get a trapezoid, or if we put two squares together, we could get a rectangle. And so now that we're talking about our solid or three-dimensional shapes, we're going to be doing the same thing, but if we think of our three-dimensional shapes almost like blocks and building different shapes, that's what we'll be doing today. So up here it says Tina makes a three-dimensional T using other solid shapes. Which solid shapes does she use? Solid shapes are three-dimensional shapes. You can put together these solid shapes to make new three-dimensional shapes. So she has two different rectangular prisms. She has this red one that's laying down on its side, and then the blue one that's standing up tall. So when she stacked the red one on top of the blue one, we can see that she was able to make this new 3D shape, which looks like a T. So she used two rectangular prisms to make a T. So let's look down now at the bottom where it's the practice area, and it says circle two solid shapes that make the new three-dimensional shape. So these are the shapes we have to choose from, and if we look here, this is what they are wanting us to build. So if I look at these two shapes, it looks like I have a cylinder here and then a cone resting on top. So you're going to circle the cylinder and the cone. Those are the two shapes that you would use to build this new shape. And once you have circled that, if you go ahead and turn the page, the top of the next page, we're going to be doing the same thing. Circle the new shape that you can make with two of the given shape. So this is our given shape. It's a rectangular prism. It says if you had two of these rectangular prisms, which of these shapes could you make? And they've shown you here it would be this one because it's two rectangular prisms stacked on top of one another. It wouldn't be this one because that's two cubes, and it wouldn't be this one because that's one rectangular prism and one cube. So we know if we had two rectangular prisms, this is what the shape would look like. For this one, they're saying if we had two of these triangular prisms and we put them together, which of these shapes could we make? Well, I know it wouldn't be this first one because I see that this is a rectangular prism on the bottom and I'm looking for two triangular prisms. I know it wouldn't be this one because this is two rectangular prisms, and again, I'm looking for two of these. But if you look here, it looks like they stacked the flat bottom part of the triangular prisms together, and the two triangular prisms were able to make a cube. So if you go ahead and circle that cube, that's one of the shapes that you could make using two triangular prisms. Down here it says Ryan uses three cubes to make three-dimensional shapes shown. So he used 1, 2, 3 cubes to make this shape. He wants to use his new shape to make other three-dimensional shapes. So circle two of the shapes that he could make. All right, so we're looking for two shapes that have this new kind of backwards L-shaped shape that he made. So if I look here, I can see that here's one of those L-shaped, and then here's another one. So that's a shape that he could make. Now this one, it appears like he could make. However, if you look, they kind of share this cube, so there's not enough. So it couldn't be that one. Now this one, he could take and put one L this way, and then flip the other one around and put it that way, so he could make this shape. And then this one, he could probably make, but he would need additional blocks, so it just wouldn't work. So you should circle this first one and the third one. Down here at the bottom, it says two triangles can make a square. Can two cones make a cube? Well, no, two cones can't make a cube because they have a round, flat surface. and we need all square flat surfaces on a cube. And again, the two cones wouldn't make the cube. If we look up here, it was the two triangular prisms that we could put together to make the cube. So now if you go to the top of the next page, here we are looking at, let me adjust my page a little bit. Okay. Here we are looking at just the review again of what we've been talking about. So now it says, looking at these three problems, circle the new shape you could make using these two shapes. So if I use a cylinder and a cone, which of these shapes could I make using a cylinder and a cone? And in this case, I could make these two shapes. Now I'm guessing that they want you to circle this middle one because it's the same size, and this one is smaller and our shape wouldn't get smaller. So go ahead and circle this middle one. And now here we have a rectangular prism and a cube. So take a look at these and decide which one uses a rectangular prism and a cube and circle it. If you chose this last one, you are correct. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. Which one of these shapes could you build using 4 cubes? Circle it now. And if you chose this middle one, you are correct. So now we can go ahead and turn to the back of that page. This one says, circle the two solid shapes that make this new 3D shape. So the shape we're trying to make, it kind of looks like a house. It has a base of a rectangular prism, and then it has a roof made of a triangular prism. So you should circle the triangular prism and the rectangular prism. Down here it says Abby uses 4 connecting cubes to make this 3-dimensional shape. She wants to use 2 of these to make another shape. Which one could she make? So take a look there. It has to have 4 cubes put together to make this rectangular prism. Which one of these uses 2 of that shape? If you chose this last one, you are correct. Down at the bottom here, Simon says he can combine 2 cubes to make a cylinder. Is he right? Well, no, he's not, because a cylinder has a circle for its flat surface, and cubes have squares. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you had fun building new shapes with our solid 3-dimensional shapes, and we will see you later. Bye, friends at home.